Hey guys, welcome to another small scale drifter Sunday Sermon. On my right it's Dwight Cool, and down under me it's Chris Lewis and myself
Afternoon, folks.
Chris Tronic. We probably will
What's
have
up, guys? Girls?
we probably will have guests today if he managed to come online. We will talk about the MA Springs. Dwight will talk about shocks. Sorry, Dwight will talk about his track, and yeah, we will see what else comes at us. So, yeah, many of us bought in the last weeks the MA shocks from AliExpress shop 39 whatever, and when they arrived, we recognized that the front shocks have a very, very short travel and are altogether really short. So I felt the need to deassemble them, and I found the shaft inside. I have it here. I don't know if I can make it visible for you guys. This is the shaft, and as you can see, it has a very high head with two grooves in it, and I probably think that these are, with the two grooves, is the shortest one. Then you get one with one groove, that's the little bit longer one, and in the rear you got a shaft with no groove and only the top piece, so it's the longest one. Yeah. I wanted to find a solution for that because I needed more travel on the shocks, and I fastly recognized that these have the same dimension as WL Toys upgrade aluminium shocks. This with the
I've got some here, Chris.
Oh, very good. With the silver body and the colored cap. Mine were
Basically,
Are those the K989? Is that the K989?
red. Yeah, exactly.
this is-
From the K989 is
this one.
exactly these shocks with this cap. And the shaft has exactly the same outer diameter. So the shaft itself has the 2 millimeters like the MA shaft, and the head is also the same size. And it is fit like I showed it, just the last section of the head, as this, like this thick it is, the head. So you get easily about 2 millimeters more travel, or more than 2 millimeters more travel. I put them in my shocks already and had to try this out. I have them here. Here's the camera on my DK-MK2, and as you can see now, they have a really long travel. I even measured the travel, and it's even longer now than it is on the D24.
There you go, Chris. There's the two shaft differences.
But,
as you can
and
see,
the
springs on this, it's fully out. It won't come out anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can see by the aluminium, they're both in line.
And
that's how much travel you're going to get.
Yeah, but the point is, the shaft is exactly as long as the original shaft, only the head is thinner. So it is still completely compressible, so it doesn't stop somewhere before it is completely in. It goes completely in, like the original one. So it's an easy and cheap fix.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take care of that.
It's an easy and cheap fix. You can get these WL Toys shocks on AliExpress. I saw them last time for €2.93. This is about $2.50 for 4 shocks.
Nice.
So
$50 shipping.
No, it wasn't that bad. So you just spend about $5 or so, and you can make these MA shocks usable for much more cars, because for many cars the whole shock is too short. And yeah, this way you can use them on many cars, and they work exactly the same. They are as smooth as before with the original shaft. No difference.
Nice.
Yeah. So
thanks for discovering that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yep. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually, while we're chatting today, I'm going to convert a set so people can see exactly.
Email them to me. Nice.
Yeah, thank you very much, Saz. And yet now I'll convert a set so people can see exactly what Chris is talking about and the difference with it. Where I'll keep it up against the ruler or on a billboard so you can see what I'm doing, obviously. And yeah, other than that, I'm going to basically do a bit more soldering for you all. I'm going to solder a motor to an ESC, and
nice.
I'm also going to change the power cable off the ESC to one of these little bad boys.
Are you going to solder on the ESC board itself, or are you going to just do a wire trim?
I've got a little trick. Basically, I'll pull this plug off, cut the 2 pins off, and the 2 pins fit lovely inside the bullets with a bit of trimming. So it's not just the pure wire wobbling in the bullet. You've got the actual piece of metal, and then you don't overheat it, and you still retain total flexibility right to the end joint. So yeah, that's my little.
Stay tuned for that.
We'll be doing that today. The stabby and flux will be in full flow and showing. So the likes of
nice, got a stabby, man.
Steve Fest's having a lot of trouble soldering, so Steve Fest hopefully will watch this section and see just how easy it really is, and it's nothing to panic about with the right tool.
Yeah, Steve's a local guy. He can come to my place, and we're gonna hook it up if he wants, man. So Steve, swing through, man. It's been too long.
Yeah. I see Ryan Blackwell over there with Johnny Strangle, Justin Roundbush. I forget who else was with him now, but
did Jack go over there?
I'm not sure, mate, to be honest with you.
Jack Blanchard? Yeah, I know he had a whole crew over there. So yeah, that was real cool, up in the DC area.
Yeah, I know they all enjoyed themselves thoroughly. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's very hospitable, so I know for a fact that they'll have enjoyed themselves. So they had a good day, and he put a bit of video there for us to see.
Nice.
Yeah, so Dwight, what's your scheme for the week?
Oh, my scheme for the week? Oh, man, I'm going to enjoy the next 2 days off. Today and tomorrow. It's my 22nd wedding anniversary. So pretty happy with that. Yeah, it's just, everything is just great. I mean, Cool's R&D is involved in like 4 hardcore collaborations right now. I got one with 3Cs. I got one with the Backyard RC Speedway, which is Justin Rotterbach's setup. I have a really interesting young lady that is in the group who reached out to me, and she's a digital creator. And so we're talking right now about maybe getting some OBJ files made for that crazy looking Porsche, squashed car. I don't know. It's a super long tail Porsche with the open over fenders on top.
Yeah, that was
totally
Chad.
Ridiculous.
I think that's Chad over at 3Cs.
So I think that he's going to do that one. So yeah. So I don't know. I just put out the leader out there. I know a lot of people are super creative. They want an outlet. They want a way to connect with people. They want a way to fit into a hobby that I don't know. I don't really expect a lot of my I would guess more mature friends to kind of understand what I'm getting involved in. But, to me, it's a little bit more than just RC cars. I like the connection. I like the passion. I like, burning the late hours. It's, it's fully wholesome to me. So yeah, I got a lot of small things going on. I got a really crazy MA24 build. Actually, after I'm done with it, it's not going to be the M24 or the D24. It's going to be the M24. Because I sunk so much money in it, so it'll be the M24. But no, it's going to be wild. It's going to be nothing anyone's ever seen before. I guarantee it. So stay tuned for that. Also today, hopefully you'll stick around for the entirety of this video, but I'm essentially going to show people what maybe $20 on Temu and maybe $10 at Home Depot can get you as far as a drift track goes. And it's really outside the box. In fact, it's real, it's really Southern Florida. I guarantee it. It's just I was having a screen redone at my house after a hurricane, and it had a really big panel of these window screenings. So I asked the guy as he's cutting out this one panel, I said, "Hey, can I get that panel?" He goes, "Well, yeah, I mean, it's yours, So I rolled it up, and I just knew that I could slide on this thing. And so that's what I did today. I set up this track, which is on the opposite side of this camera, which you'll see here in a little bit. And yeah, we're going to slide my face off. I'm going to actually show people a dry outdoor screen. And then, you know what? I've never sauced a window screen before, so I'm going to sauce it, and we'll just kind of compare, and give you my little feedback, my little, captions, if you will. But yeah, I got some safety for lipo batteries, and just some small little knickknacks, just always with the knowledge, man. So love to share. How about yourself? What you guys up to?
Well, like I say, I'm going to do my little bits of soldering. I've had a chat with a certain well-known person about doing an aluminium car. So that's a little project that's undergoing at the moment. I won't mention names.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's something I'll be working on.
If that project gets made, that will be the craziest, craziest chassis out there. And God, if it works half as good as it looks, man, I'll be homeless. That's basically it.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I've got I'm working on I'm not working on it personally. I've got somebody working on the Small Scale Drifters Brotherhood of Drift logo. So yeah, hopefully I'll be trying to source some bits and bobs out, get some t-shirts with iron on them, maybe. They'll just be given away as giveaways at first, because I'll be doing it purely by myself. And then, we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Maybe go baseball caps, key fobs, dongles for your handsets.
Shot glasses?
Yeah.
I need an SSD shot glass.
Well, now Chris has got his funky new super-powered resin printer.
Yes.
He could maybe do your SSD shot glass. That won't be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you can drink out of FDM, but whatever's in here will kill whatever chemicals are in there. Hey, it's the only illegal drinking and driving, man, right here. So yeah, what's up, Chris Tronic? Care to share that beautiful printer? Is it possible to show the world
what the printer? Like? Yeah, at the moment, since we're recording from my computer, it's a little bit difficult. Because the computer, the new printer is in a different room. But I bought a Bamboo Lab P1S, sorry. I would like to have the X1, but it's like 3 times the price. And I just set it up today and do all the bindings and so, and I'm pretty impressed since that thing is connected through Wi-Fi with your internet at home and with your home network, and with Bluetooth to your phone, and with the app you basically can slice and start a print from your phone. And the really cool thing about it is it has this app where you can exactly see how far the print is, how many hours, which filament is in use. It can multicolor print, yeah. Yeah, and it has a built-in
The technology
camera.
is nuts.
It has a built-in
I said the
camera.
technology nowadays is just so nuts.
Yeah, where you can see what is happening on the build lab. So it's more like a time lapse. It's not completely a video, but you don't need a complete video to see every move. You can see it on this picture exactly that everything is all right or that it is not all right. Yeah, like I say, it's now the first test print in color also, because I want to test the AMS, the multi-material system, or automatic material system.
So that's a
So far, so
multi-color,
good.
multi-filament print.
Yeah, with one AMS, it can print up to 16 colors. So you put 4 colors inside and it can mix the colors and everything. Yeah.
Incredible.
You can, but it's possible to add more colors and use them together, and so it's crazy thing of technology. So I didn't buy a printer the last 7 years because my old printers worked very well until last year. It died last year. The motherboard just didn't turn on anymore, and I didn't care too much to look for the error. So I decided to buy a new printer, and yeah, I was thinking I go for one of the best to have no headache, and the setup. I'm really impressed because that thing does nearly everything by its own. You just scan a QR code, it connects to your phone, you say, after connecting, you say auto calibration, and then that thing takes 10 minutes, sounds like it explodes in the next minutes because it has a frequency adjustment at the stepper driver where they start like whoop, 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 and they go faster and faster, and then you can't see any movement more. It's just and then it goes and higher and higher and higher. Yeah.
Nice.
So I was like, oh shit, what's wrong now? But that's not wrong. It's just the calibration.
Dwight, I was on live to him at the time, and man, all I could hear it was like a washing machine slapping against 2 brick walls, and the spin was getting faster and faster.
Yeah, I saw that movie.
Yeah, I said to him, man, I said to him, bro, that don't sound good. And he was laughing. He was like, no, it's okay, it's okay. But at first, I heard him say, oh shit.
Yeah, I also didn't know what happened. I mean, it's new to me too. Yeah, this is
like, where's the cat? Where's the cat?
It's really
so. Yeah, anyone that buys an expensive 3D PLA printer, be prepared for what sounds like a rocket attack in your kitchen, but it's just the printer setting itself up.
Yeah,
Very nice. Very nice.
Happen, yeah.
Right, let's see him come off a printing. And then
You gonna eat all that?
Mr. Honyang Lee put a post up this week called Tronicle, a simple picture with the good Professor's Chris's gears on it. And I think it's the highest ever record I've seen on the page ever. It had over 9,400 views.
94,000.
No, 94,000, sorry. 94,000 when I looked at it with Chris this afternoon. It's got something like 355 comments.
No, likes.
Likes, I mean, yeah. And
comments.
I forget how many comments. But I can only say it's Hong Yang Lee. I appreciate that input, because it has drawn a lot of attention. It got some great comments regarding herringbone gears. I don't think they would work too well, really. But the basically a double helix, or as I say, a chevron, 2 points meeting together. Me and Chris were talking about it. We know it is the way to go because of the forces. But me personally, this is not a V12 or a V6 motor. It's just a small motor, and the bearings are more than likely overpowered for its size anyway, over adequate because they're metal and the quality, most of them. Well, no, most of my motors, I've never burnt one out yet. And I've run 11,000.
No, not even the cheap ones.
Yeah, I've run 11,000 kVs flat out. And I've never ever burnt a motor. So, yeah, okay, we know the forces on the tronical gears or exerting forces on the bearing, but due to the dimensions between the drive gear and the spare gear, and then the size of the bearing, I genuinely don't believe there's no way that them gears at that size would do any damage to a bearing by pulling on it.
Yeah,
that thrust is called a thrust effect. Yeah, and if you're properly shimmed, it's really a non-issue. I mean, yeah, in a pure world, yeah, you'd have maybe a conical bearing or something, but I would never even seen a conical bearing that runs in a 2 mil shaft.
No,
so,
you couldn't.
You can over-engineer something, but it's all good.
I have a proof here. This is the first prototype of a full gear conversion for the DKMK3. So it is inside and outside with gears instead of belts. Thank you.
Pulleys.
And pulleys, yeah. And this is now about 18 months old, and it still runs like on the first day. These are only ABS resin printed gears, and after 1 year of heavily use, because this is one of my favorite cars. I think I don't have another car that has taken so many batteries, yeah, like this car. And still, there is no visible wear on the teeth, not on the inside, not on the outside. So the forces are really relatively small and negligible. Yeah, you don't have to think about them, to be honest.
My DWX, Chris, my aluminium, which is a heavy car, yeah, I bought them off you, at least 18 months ago.
Yeah, it's the same time. This is...
Yeah, and that DWX all aluminium, it's fairly heavy. Mine, if anything, in the running, they've polished up and gone more quieter. Yeah, because obviously the teeth are meshing, they're polishing each other, man. And yeah, now it's like it's like the silent cat. You can't hear that thing, man. You can't hear it.
Yeah, always important to mesh them right, to mesh them a little bit loose, because since there are more teeth at once in action, you can make them a little bit more loose, and then without risking any damage, and then you get that real no friction.
Yeah, man.
It is with motor, and they just turn it and it keeps spinning a little bit. Yeah. So
they are rollers all day long.
Every car free rolling forever, and cannot achieve that with straight gears. Not like this. Cannot achieve that like this does it with straight gears. It also will free roll, but they always have more friction and cannot transfer as much force as helical gears. These are the positive sides of helical gears.
Well, I showed it on...
Let me ask a question.
Sorry, I showed it on a video with the TG. I've got the belt, the pulley system on it. I've got the TG gears original on it, and I've got the tronicals on it. And it was a video I'd done about 5 months ago, and I just pushed them across my worktop. And you can see the Tronicle is far better free rolling than the TG. The belt is the worst one, to be honest with you. If it was a tooth belt, you'd stand a chance, but because it's not a tooth belt, it's a smooth belt, it's a pain, because if you didn't get it nearly free rolling, when you throttle the car, the belt, it just starts wanting to expand. You get that going on. Then to compensate for that, the belt's slipping basically. To compensate for that, you tighten it up, and then boom, you've lost all free rolls.
And this, me personally would say, a flat belt with the right tension, so it doesn't slip. Put more forces on the bearings of the motor and the spur gear than my helical gears do, and that's that's a fact. For 100%, tensioned belt has worse forces in the wrong direction because it's like this. Mine would so my gears make axial forces to the outside, and this would pull the motor completely against this direction. So if somebody says, oh, they are not good because of the forces, every drift out belt is worse for the motor and the bearings than, so the normal flat belt of the drift out is worse than my gears for the bearings.
So my question about the gears is, I got 2 sets fitting in there. What is the mounting procedure? I mean, is there I didn't notice any set screws or any other kinds of things. Can you just walk us step by step through that?
It's press fit. Normally your axle in your cars is a 3 millimeter, and I take care that the holes in the spur gears are exactly 2.9 millimeters. So maybe it's sometimes a little bit too hard. Then you have to open up the hole a little bit if you need too much force to press it on. But I made this that it has in every environment a good fitment, because if it is a little bit warmer, the plastic opens up more than the metal of the spur gear axle, and so that it has a good grip and a good sit. The hole is very small and it's a very, very tight fit. So better to open them up a little bit with a file or so and then press them on. Basically, you cannot do much wrong because they are relatively thick. So even if you go on the beginning a little bit in an angle, it will become straight deeper in. So they will run round.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's not so important.
Makes sense.
I've just thought,
okay, cool.
I've got my goodie box behind me. I do believe I've got some in here. And if I have, when I'm doing my soldering and my bits and bobs, I'll stick a set on this car, actually, because
they're awesome.
TG, I think these are for belt drive. I forgot I had them.
Okay.
They're stainless steel, bit of weight in them. The black one's aluminium. The 2 others are stainless steel. Oh, weird! Look.
Is that from the TG option parts?
Look at that. We got a set of black Tronicles here.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Red's for the super skater. And blue maybe for the meta.
The blues. We've talked about blue.
No, you said purple.
No, blue. Me and Chris have talked about blue for a long time, and then I read something, and I rung Chris up as soon as I read it. I went, "Shit, mate! I just read this thing, and it makes so much sense." And I told Chris, and Chris went, "Oh shit, it does." Like basically, with the resin printer, It sees every colour. Yeah, the light sees every colour, but it fucking don't see blue too good at all, bro. It don't see. Oh,
So
it
blue
don't see.
resin
Yeah,
has very bad tolerances. The gears, I have one
I want
here
a
by
refund.
hand.
No, I'm just joking.
I mean, you can see that with the free eye how bad the surface is here. Yeah, and this is that got too much resin hard in between the support. So
I see.
it's like the blue is transferring the light to the outwards, and so you get really bad tolerances. I
Yep, but
tried
it
to
let-
make them flat on the rear and still use them because optical they look good, but when I mounted them they had like binding spots all over the gear because in between the teeth they got some resin hard that shouldn't get
I see.
hard. And so yeah, blue resin, you can print your figures. It will not matter too much if the arm is like 0.05 millimeters figure or so because of the light transfer. But technical stuff is not easy to print in blue. That's why there are no blue Tronical gears. The maximum I was able
I wonder
to
what
do.
colors I have. I know I have red ones. I'm trying to think what the other color. I could have sworn it was a blue or a purple or something. I don't know.
Purple.
It's like
purple.
Purple is not so.
it was purple.
If gears from me are guarantee not blue. I did never make
Okay.
blue gears. So purple, there was a
What were the
limited
color
edition.
options? I know I have red. I just can't remember
Red,
what the other
green.
color was.
Red, green, black, and I made a limited edition purple because I had to mix blue and red. Funny
Red,
thing
yeah.
is, if you mix blue and red up, it works again. So if it is purple, it prints normal.
It might be purple.
But only the clear blue, I tried it from 5 companies. I have 5 bottles from different companies, clear blue here, and all of them have the same problem. And white.
see.
White is the last color I have them.
I've got your purple ones, Chris, and because this car's going to get all
Yeah, I
purple
know.
on it, I might as well put your purple ones on it.
I thought you were done with purple.
No, we did, but they were limited edition.
No, I mean, you were saying that you're done with just purple. Like, you put
No,
your last
but
purple
that-
motor in. You're going black now.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Look, the purple motor's in it. The ESC's there.
Okay.
But watch, I'm not lying to you. Oh, no, I am. I just
You are.
realised.
I'm
No,
there.
look. I
Good.
bought a black ESC, and they sent me a purple motor. But I've just bought 2 new motors. A red one and a grey one. So I'm not colour coordinating no more. I'm going to start mixing and matching.
Yeah, hey, man.
Why
You know,
not?
it's a whole new world, bro.
Right.
So, just to put a bookend on this
Here we
free
go.
roll conversation stuff.
Here's the purples.
Yeah. Some people may not be, able to invest or want to invest or really want to dig into it. So I'll just share a little thing that I've been doing from time to time. I personally fan of free roll. I mean, it doesn't fit my track style for the part. Coming off throttle, initiates kind of a handbrake effect. So what I like to do when I have people coming over and they mention that they want a free roll, because it's like a preference type of thing. I actually just jack up my forward trim while I'm driving the car. So when I come to a stop, I'm watching the rear wheels and they're not skidding. Now, there is a tipping point to where you have so much forward trim that you will lose actual reverse, all right? You'll always have brake, but you may lose reverse if you go too extreme. So what I do is I just kind of find it to where I have the car elevated. I push up, after I power up the car with 0 trim on the throttle, I will elevate the car dial up the trim on my Noble. I think it goes into the 25, 26, 28 range. And then you'll start seeing the rear tires start to jitter a little bit. And then, that jittering right there is just enough for me, because as soon as I come off throttle, I mean, the car is just coasting. I mean, that's really what it's doing. And, I could stab the brake, do my thing. But yeah, so, experiment, have some fun with that. If you feel like free roll is going to, fit, your driving style a little bit better, and you don't want to have to do this electronic intervention like I'm describing, hit up Chris Tronic over here, and he's going to set you up with the good stuff. So yeah, that's awesome, man.
It's definitely, like how to say, personal preference, yeah, because you can say it's more realistic, the free roll, because if you get off the throttle, your rear wheels will not instantly stand still, yeah, like they do if your car doesn't free roll. But on the other hand, on a real car, if you just get off the throttle, the clutch is still closed, and you will have the motor brake force, yeah, which will bring you down. So it is a discussion. Both of it can be seen as more realistic. Personal preference.
Yeah, budget, really. Again, if you feel like it, these experiments, because I'm really heavy into the radios. I found that, I don't know, I get about 30% of the tuning is the car, and then the other 70 for me is in my radio, or the electronic suite, whatever the case may be. Other people are, they run zero radio interventions. I mean, they run full throws, full expo, full EPA. I mean, you name it, it's maxed. But me, I modify almost every setting.
I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, because they plug it in, it's got full throttle throw, they don't know how to set up an EPA, they don't know how to set up the endpoints on the gyro, and then the car's not reacting the way it should do. And if you learn how to turn your throttle down and set up your curve, set up your endpoints, set up your gyro endpoints, it'll make this the whole pleasure, the whole experience is so much easier and so much more fun. Because you got to remember, even though the car's set up great, the car's not controlling itself. The throttle, the controller is controlling the car. So if the controller is set up badly, it's like it's sending the car bad information, or overloading the car with information, should I say. Which if you tweak the handset down so that the car can understand what's coming in at it and respond to it, then the whole driving of the car, you'll find that when you thought it was spinning out and you can't drive, and you turn your throttle down and you set your endpoints and your gyro endpoints, and all of a sudden you think, wow, what the hell?
Yeah, and you soften your steering, you do all that. So let me let me pull this conversation out of micro drift just for a little bit, because we have possibly some newer people here, and maybe they want to get into micro drift. So how about this? Let's say you're a gamer, right? I mean, who hasn't played games? You know what I'm saying? So let's just say you're playing a first-person shooter and you're new at it. Most new people kind of soften their sensitivity. So the camera and the sights, if you will, or your vision is just much more relaxed. As your skills develop, as you really start to get deep into the game, as you're really just slaying, you're just jacking up your sensitivity now, where it's just like whipping fast, because now you have learned the control, So, to bring it back into micro drift, from that analogy, I soften my steering return, or delay, so I have a steering return delay. My steering activity, or my, I guess you would say the turning effect is full throttle, but the return is going to be delayed by about, I set on my Noble at 0.80. So it's just an eighth of a second return.
Throttle return or steering return?
No, steering.
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 Because
the throttle. no matter what motor I have on my throttle, I always run about 70 to 75% on my dual rate.
Dual rate,
And,
yeah.
Hold on one moment.
I'm asking.
Yeah, I do a lot of dual rate. Yeah.
I'm asking because on Radio Link remotes, for example, you have the option to also play around with throttle speed. So this doesn't mean how fast your car gets. It means you hit the trigger to full throttle and your car still goes like whoop, yeah. Even if you do whoop whoop whoop, it does only whoop.
Yeah.
Or you can adjust it that it is until 50% whoop whoop whoop, and every time you go over 50, it has this whoop, this slow uprise in the RPM.
Progression, yeah.
And you also can do this in the other direction when you release the throttle. And I was trying this on my remote just to play around, and it was on a car with free rolling, and there it ended up very bad because I found something what you describe. If you leave your trim, your throttle trim at 0, but give it a throttle release speed reduction, yeah, you speed up, release, and the car whoop, and then falls down. So it gives it a little kick at the end. So it's like what you described in another Sundayn Sermon with the brass weight on the spur gear. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where you
I forgot
release
about
the
that.
throttle and it jumps a little bit in front. So with this throttle speed setting, if you the release throttle speed setting put down, it will exactly act like it has free roll, or even it has like a flywheel effect on the spur gear. So it just came to my mind that I was playing around with this some months ago when you now talked about steering speed and throttle trim. Yeah, that both together connected me in my head to this.
Nice.
So if you have a radio link, I don't know if this. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was going to say what Chris Satronic here is referring to is I have a DRZ, any atomic. In fact, just about any drift car with a spur pulley arrangement that has at least the area. What I was doing was I was taking out the mounting screw for the spur gear and replacing it with a really long grub screw, like an M2 by 8 millimeter grub, like a really long set screw, right? And that would give me a stud sticking out of the spur in the center, and then I would thread on a really nice 5 gram or 2.5 gram brass thumb weight right onto it. So now you have this brass, this axial drive here. So it gives this incredible flywheel effect, especially at 30, 40,000 RPMs. And when you let off the throttle, you really feel it. Like the car it gives you, again, this free rolling effect. You know, back in the day when we were all starting out, you know, there were certain mountains that we had to climb. You know, for free roll, I was just kind of cut my losses by either adding this flywheel effect or adding the electronic interventions and so forth. But, you know, Chris, you know, to his credit, he really sat down, knuckled down, and created a really good gear set that has really helped, you know, more people than it's hindered. So for sure. As you can see, you know, there's a lot of ways to get to the top of the mountain here. But yeah, you know, I'm really glad that we're all talking about that. I actually forgot all about that.
Man, every car I've got, even before Chris's gears, I've always, if it wouldn't free roll, I mesh it. And once you've meshed it, and it's still not free rolling, I then check the rear. You know the front wheels are going to spin, yeah? But then I'll check the rear wheels to see if the bearings are tight or if I've got something that's a bit tight. Once I've done that, if it's still not free rolling, then unfortunately, with the likes of the BMRX, the first one, I have to take the gearbox to bits because it was winding me up.
There's too many gears in that gearbox.
Yeah, but man, I took it to bits because it was winding me up. Like I say now, the only car I can't get to free roll, truly free roll, is that zero, and I've got a solution, and it's getting gears on it, mate. The belt's got to come off.
Nice.
Once I get them gears on it, I get that thing free rolling. I know for a fact. But it's all about.
So also, yeah. I just want to jump in. All right, so the mechanics aside, I just want to mention that the evolution and the motors that we have nowadays are way better than the motors we had in the past. The main cause for non-free rolling was just too much magnetic effect on these motors. Now, some of these newer motors, I mean, you could blow on them and they'll spin. So, that also aids a lot in that. So,
right. Well, this is
outside of your mechanical tolerances. It should be good.
I've got a motor in front of me now. As far as I'm concerned, it's
I got an MBX that takes a set of pliers to turn.
It's clickety.
I'm saying, but that wasn't around 2 years ago.
Clink, clink.
Oh, yeah. But 2 years ago, we didn't have that. So, if you got an easy runs, you're pretty good.
The easy run is a very strong motor.
I know, listen to me. But then
motor.
I can pick up the rocket out of that box now, and it'll spin, and it'll just spin freely.
The new rocket motor is super good.
Yeah, the rocket motor spins. Furitech.
Yeah, that's what I use my drift art. They're awesome. The cheaper, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, all I know is, as I said to Chris, I've got this easy run. Didn't realise you needed the program box to make it work right, which peed me off, and I thought I ain't paying $40 for the program box. So,
which program box works on it?
Only one, mate. That's it. It's $40 odd.
Oh, the Hobby Wing one?
Yeah, it's $40 odd.
Oh, that's the same one that they used in the Yay Racing? Is that the same one as the Yay Racing, like 10 scale one?
Yeah. 10th scale OMG uses. Some older Sky RC uses the same. You can even program the rocket motors with it, with this the 1x10 rocket motors. I have to be clear, because Rocket normally makes only small motors, and so, like the OMG, it is only a rebranded Hobby Wing ESC. Yeah.
Right.
They are completely the same if you look at them.
See the dongle you've got, Dwight, hanging off your controller? Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I'm working in collaboration with someone, and we're going to produce some of them. Yeah. SSD.
Yeah,
as soon as we get the logo sorted out.
I gotta swag my controller out. I gotta swag it out, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some dongles and key fobs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip my camera for the viewer, for some visual interest here, because looking at my face all the time, shit. Lucky you. But yeah, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna show you outside of the car that's on here. But looking at basically everything that I have here on this track, I'm going to say that I don't have, outside of, this little lift, blah, blah, blah. But the point is that I probably don't have more than $25 to $30 in this track, period. Hard stop. $30. All right? Ready? I know I am. All right. So give me a moment, and I'll flip my screens, and we'll get to it.
Well, while the viewers are watching Dwight, basically, I'm just going to unpack a set of Tronicals and get myself set up to do some soldering work, some stabby, and stabby with the flux capacitor, and stabby is what you need to solder. Yeah, once you got flux capacitation, stabby. You can solder like a king. Well, I'll show you how I solder, and it's not too bad.
Alrighty. So this is an 8x14 section of outdoor window screen. The cheapest window screen available, because the original owner of my house was a really frugal kind of guy. Now, I will tell you that, anyone with thinking about it, you'll know that the screen is pass-through, you know what I'm saying? It's like a waffle print. The waffle print, it's actually a waffle printed vinyl. Like, this screen is dipped in vinyl, so you're actually sliding on vinyl, right? So it slides great. It's waffle print, so you have a very reduced surface area, so that also slides great. But in addition, if you really like what you're about to see, you don't have to use basic screen because screen will allow dust and so forth to come up from the underneath. They make a stylish screen called bug-proof, which essentially looks identical, but it's actually sealed. So if you get the bug-proof style and you run it with the waffle print up and the sealed side down, you'll never get hair or dust or anything to come up through it. So in addition to this, you can sauce this track, which it is not. This is just a dry screen. Like if you went out there and you told your wife or your husband, whatever, it's like, hey, I'm going to cut this screen out real quick for a little project. And they're like, what? They're like, too late. But anyway, so that's perfect. And I'm actually going to sauce this track after I've ridden it for a little while, and I'm going to see how I like it. All right. So anyway, I'm here. I'm listening to y'all, and I will contribute while I'm doing my thing.
Very good. So now, Chris, what you got here?
I'm going to get myself set up to do some soldering, Mr. Chris.
Nice.
And set this motor up.
Now, I will say that the car is a little quick, but it's very predictable. And maybe that's what you want, I have a lot of obstacles on the track. I don't really have a course set up per se, but, I have a desire to drift this thing, so I'll just push this around a little bit.
And you like drift the cones.
Yeah. The track will form itself, but at the end of the day, I mean, this thing is ripping. It's a little quick for my taste. It's probably quick on the thing. I think my battery might be dumping too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sauce it right now. Oh, what did I say? My battery was dead? Look at this. Bam, bam, bam. It is dead.
Done.
No biggie. No, I have one in my pocket.
Oh, that's good. That's always good to have one in the pocket.
I'm going to switch it up here real momentarily. But yeah, you guys, like Kurt Cobain says, entertain me.
Well, in the coming months, what I'll do is I'll print another one of these body kits out. The glasses with it. I'm not going to polish the glass for you. You'll have to do that yourself. But it'll come as a kit form to make it easier. So basically, you're going to get the whole hood, doors, the boot, the back end. There's the spoiler for it. That actually fits in, and you think it's really flimsy, but the glass that fits on the top of the car has got slots in it that the spoiler fits through. And as you can see, she done a bad printing kit. So yeah, coming up in the next few months, I'll definitely, maybe whoever wins the cover photo competition might get a surprise and get this kit. I'll contact them if they want to pay the postage.
Ooh,
I'll print it out. I'll send it free of charge. I don't want nothing for it. You get the kit.
All right. So here's the sauce.
No. You don't want nothing for it. You want to be the winner of the photo contest. Of the cover.
Yeah, no, I personally, I don't want no money for it. I just want whoever wins it.
By the way, Chris, you just remembered yourself. It's already the 3rd of March. So you should set up a cover photo contest today.
Well, it'll come up on the 5th anyway, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, when you put this out, this will be 2 days early, so that it's not. No one's going to win it this month. It might be next month, possibly. Yeah. I want to print a couple of them out first, so I've got them ready to box up and send out. Like I said, whoever wins the photo competition, you'll be offered that car. You just have to pay the postage from the UK to your country, And if you don't want it, by all means, let me know. Whoever is second in the competition, they will be offered the opportunity to pay the postage and receive the car. So yeah, just a little. What's going to happen in the summer?
Yeah, and just to let you know, we will ship by the cheapest possible way. So we will not take UPS or so for hundreds of bucks or so. We normally manage to ship around 20 euros to America a body. Yeah, so it will not be very expensive shipping if you are in America. So don't be afraid to say, yes, I want that body.
To be honest with you, from the UK, if I post to the United States, it's usually $20. Yeah, and
yeah,
that
like
is
I said, around 20.
Yeah, it's not much more than that, people.
Exchange rate.
Anywhere else, it's usually cheaper. I'll be honest, anyone in America, it's always dearer to post from the UK to America. Like it's from America to me, we get taxed on stuff, even when you try to avoid it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, DHL or USPS or UPS. They always want to open the package and see that it's not what you're claiming it to be. And then I get a tax bill, or there's only Mikos has got something through to me from America when it come through, and I didn't get the dreaded note saying come and pick it up and pay your bill first. So anywhere else, I've sent stuff. Canada, I've sent stuff everywhere, and at the moment, it's never cost me more than $20 to send it anywhere. So. Don't be afraid, Pete.
I don't know how this works in Great Britain, but here in Austria, it's like they don't take every sending. They pick one by luck and look at the box. Also, they pick one bag of parcels by luck of one container, and these will be controlled. And yeah, so if you are lucky, it gets through. If you're not lucky, it gets not through, and you have to pay import taxes. But this is in America. It's different again, and it's different for every country, I think.
In the UK, I can basically say send the parcel, then click on DHL, USP, British Post Office, the Post Office, Royal Mail, should I say, German Post, all sorts. And then look at their prices, see what's what, pick the cheapest one, and post it that way. But they usually tell you their local office to drop it in. Or a lot of them have places where they'll pick up anyway. They just come to your house and pick it up, a lot of them. Right, so
man, I'm loving this.
I'm gonna start getting this car soldered up, peeps.
Nice. I'm just I'm telling you, saucing this screen, just slowing this thing down so nice. Oh my God, I'm telling you, this is a $5 section of screen at Home Depot. You can get almost an unlimited length and almost unlimited width. I mean, I've seen this screen available commercially for 15 feet wide by almost 100 feet long. I mean, it is insane. You could run 10-scale cars with this stuff, no problem. I mean, this thing, I'm just having a good old chance. I wish there was an actual track on here, but you know what? Since the screen, probably draw on it with board chalk, like you would like a kid, if you were making a hopscotch or whatever.
Yeah, right. As a cheap, let's say, my English sometimes is so bad.
Cheap option.
Yeah, it's a cheap option.
Yeah,
I bought these on Amazon. These are these are masking tapes for pinstriping, and it is a set of 6 colors for $7, I think, on Amazon. It is 3 millimeters wide, and it is what I use to make my tracks on my ABS sheets. Yeah, and you can easily make a track with them. I use a suction cup and a piece of string. Find the center of your curve, put it on, and you can draw the perfect curve. Take a white pencil to make the line, and then when you got the line, you just have to follow with one of these colors for your track. You can even make scoring zones and other lines, traffic lines on your track. It's a little bit of work, but it will end up with a very nice track.
I need to get a couple of those songs out here.
Yeah, and clean your tracks before you stick these tapes on it. They will hold up much better and much longer. I have them now on my tracks for about a month with a weekly wet cleaning of the track, and it still hold up very, very good. So you can really use these lines a long time.
Dwight,
Yo.
I'm just going to show you what we were talking about before we come online, yeah?
Okay. I told you, I didn't think it was a pimple. You should see the doctor.
We were talking about
What do we got here? I'm looking.
we were talking about changing the power connector, yeah? And you were saying, yeah, do you cut them off? And I said, no. Basically, I take the plug off, yeah? As you can see, it's a lot thicker here, and it's all soldered. So I'll measure it, and I'm now looking and seeing just below this line here, if I cut that off...
Oh, no turning back now.
Yeah. That will fit in that hole.
The point of no return is reached.
Look,
yeah,
you have to actually push it in. You wouldn't have to solder it. It's like a plug in its own right.
Huh.
Yeah,
but I will solder it.
Yeah, yes, please solder it. Don't tell people not
so basically,
to solder this.
you're tinning the wire and then stuffing it into the connector?
Yeah,
No. He just cuts off the pin of the
yeah, watch.
And
look at the pin.
Crimp stays on the cable.
Okay.
See where I'm cutting it, Dwight?
Yeah. You're cutting off the servo lead pin or whatever.
Pin, yeah, the connector pin.
I see.
Yeah. So this is now solid piece of metal.
Right.
And I've just pushed that in, look. Without soldering them. But I will solder it 100%. They fit perfect.
I see.
And then,
don't bring people on ideas.
Okay.
Don't bring people on ideas.
And then, obviously...
that...
You're sharing too much.
Yeah, exactly. And not so that battery connector can be very dangerous. Just saying, yeah?
Yeah. So don't do it while you're intoxicated.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
This would be on the package, yeah.
Yeah, and also, like Chris says, you want to make sure which is positive, which is negative. Fortunately, the XC30s, they have a positive on them. You can't really see it. The camera's not picking it up.
I have
There you go. There's the positive,
yeah, and on the
there's the
other side the
negative.
negative.
Yeah.
So the white
The
side,
best.
the white side of the connector is positive, and the free angle side or the smaller side is negative.
Correct, though.
But since no, this is yes, you're using a rocket ESC. That's very
The
good
rocket
point.
underneath.
Because
Look,
I have
underneath,
one moment. I have some additional informations about the rocket ESC and changing the polarity by accident. Uh, the good news, the rocket ESC will not burn out. It will still work after you connected the battery the wrong direction. The bad news is it has a very, 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 very strong diode between plus and minus, which will shorten out your battery to save the ESC. So if you are not fast with disconnecting, your battery will burn.
Interesting
Don't do
note,
that.
Chris, but I'd rather blow a $16 battery than a $40, $50 ESC.
You are absolutely right. I'm just saying it is very,
To
very,
be
very
honest,
important because
yeah,
the energy of these small lipos is very big, and they can give up a lot of power at once. And this diode is crazy strong. I managed to, even with fast disconnecting, the pins were welded inside the connector.
well,
Okay?
let me tell you now,
Because I
people.
did it. I found it out the hard way. Yeah?
Well, I found this out the hard way, and people won't believe you that a battery that is so stupidly small, my shed is 12 foot by 8 foot wood with a lot of combustibles in it anyway. But if I leave this in my shed charging, I am right next to it. It's in a metal tin at all times because I've left one on my table one day outside, a wrought iron table, charging, and she blew.
Oh,
And it ripped all the hammerite coating. It ripped it off the table. It even bent some of the stuff. And my neighbour actually thought my house was on fire at the back because of the amount of smoke that this little thing churned out. It was phenomenal, the amount of damage this can do. So yeah, as Chris is saying, it is imperative. Hence, as you can see, two different coloured shrink tubes, a red and a black. Red is positive, black is negative. On the Rocket ESC, there's a positive and a negative. Yeah, on the bottom. But anyway, even if that wasn't there, yeah, the best way to look at it is look at the battery, because the good thing with these connectors are they will only go on one way. They won't go on the other way, one way only. So if you look at the
zap
battery,
yourself.
yeah, just by looking at the battery, and then you get your own marker if you like, and you put a red flash on this pin here for the positive.
But now
You don't have to mark. Yeah, you don't have to mark the black. Just mark the red so you know what the positive is at all times.
yeah. But what we don't want to do is to scare you about this battery. So many people get scared when they hear about how dangerous these batteries can really be. In fact, they are very safe. Yeah, I have to do with lipos since more than 10 years, and with high voltage lipos at my drones, they can put out much more amps than these little things and have much higher voltage.
Yeah,
and in
my
the 10 years,
DJI.
I got not more than 2 batteries blown out during charging. And both times it was my mistake because I was parallel charging more than one battery at the same time, and I connected in the balancer lead of one battery wrong. And then with the parallel board, the charger will not recognize your mistake, what he would recognize if you don't do parallel charging. So doesn't matter at all. It was fully my mistake. If you blow up a battery during charging, most of the time it is fully your own mistake and not the mistake of the LiPo. Also, the chance that it burns out during charging are very, very low. But if it happens, it can have some bad, very bad after hurts of your life or of your flat or of your furniture.
I want to jump in here real quick because, it's funny because when we were talking about our agenda today, I said I wanted to share a little bit on the LiPo thing. So I'm glad we're really talking about it because I could just share this right now. So as Chris and everyone was saying is that, 9 times out of 10, almost 10 times out of 10, if you have an issue with your LiPo, it's your fault. Either you got it on the charger or whatever the case may be. God only knows. But to mitigate that, okay, because I have seen these batteries take off, there's really no putting them out. They are not going to be extinguished with water. They need to be just covered and gotten out of that house as soon as possible. And so to give yourself a fighting chance, this is my solution. Blammo! This is a cheap $5 smoke detector with a magnet on the back. All right? What I do is, and I'm just using Mr. Horsey here for an example, but when I'm charging my batteries down here, I put Mr. Thing right there. That even gets a whiff. I'm going to know about it. And I've never heard it off. I know it will. I could hear that at any time in the house. That'll give you the valuable seconds you need to get to that battery and get it out of the house or wherever it happens to be, or get it out of the chassis. I mean, whatever kind of bad habits you got, stick a cheap smoke detector on it with a magnet on the back, and then at least you could say to your wife while you're shopping for a new house because your old one just burned down, say, hey, I'll never do that again. You're like, yeah, you're right, because we're done. But anyway, yeah, that's a really cheap thing. So anyway, I hope people use this because, this is a lifesaver. I hate to get kind of deep, but, this will save your life, man. Just stick it above your batteries and bam, bam.
Something else I want to say from my experience, both times a battery blow up on me, the charging time was extremely longer than it was normally. Yeah? So if you get the feeling that normally you charge your battery, let's say 20 minutes, yeah, and now it takes 30 minutes or 35 minutes, then definitely stop the charging process because something is definitely wrong. It's impossible if your charging process with the same amps, with the same voltage all the time takes 1.5 times the time without anything is broken. Even if the battery is not about to blow up, it will be hard to balance for the charger, what means one cell of your LiPo is not as good as the other anymore. This is also an indicator for a bad LiPo. So look at your charging time. If you have normally a charging time of 20 minutes and the charger starts to work overtime, then something is wrong. Just check connections, check your cells, check whatever, but stop the charging process and look what was happening. That's all I think about charging. Chris, do you have some advice for our people how you solder your XT30 connector? But to be honest, XT30 connectors is a little bit overkill for our cars, in my opinion.
But it's good if you have bad vision.
Yeah.
I use a JST. I use the JST most of the time. If not, I'll use the balance lead. That's about it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, the point is, I don't know if you guys know XT30, what that means. But XT30 means it is a XT series connector rated for 30 amps. So I measured my cars and they are about 5 to 7 amps.
Nice.
So this is the 30 amps what this connector can handle are definitely overkill.
Come on, boo-boo.
But many people think it's, or many people use it. I used it when I started too, but I came up because of the size, and you always have to have a second balancer lead on your LiPo. For me, it destroys the optic of the chassis, or the optic of the wiring of the chassis. It's very hard to wire
the aesthetic,
that up.
the aesthetic.
Exactly.
Right, well,
But hey, do what you got to do to get sliding. Don't let it hold you up. Just know that there's better stuff and stuff out there.
I would never stop somebody from sliding.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But this drift art, this car has been stable and incident free for 3 years. I have never, ever worked on this car outside of the tuning. I've never replaced a part. I've never replaced the ESC, the motor, the belts. I actually changed from the rubber, which I was just like believing it was suspect, because it was kind of rubbing. And I went with a really small, natural rubber O-ring that's used in dental procedures, right? You can get them in very different lengths and so forth. And that's what I use are these dental bands, and they just work amazing. I mean, as far as the power transfer, I don't have. They're very grippy, and so I don't really have to run a lot of tension on it, and so forth. In fact, the original printed pulley for the pinion, I used it so much that it almost cut through the small one, and I'm actually running on the larger section because I loved it when Drift Art had the 2 pulley sizes on the pinion. I thought that was so awesome. And also the 2 pulley sizes on the spur. So those OG spur sets with the 2 different pulley paths. Oh my God. If you got one of those, hit me up. We're dating.
I have one of those. And I don't use it.
You got to shave, bro.
Dwight, you as our Drift Art specialist, I saw a post this week. Somebody was selling a Drift Art 2.5, and I thought I really know about all versions of the 2.5. Okay. I mean, I own 3 of them. I own a 2.5cc, a summer edition, and the best. But I saw a version I never have seen before. It was under the CC. Did you know there is something under the CC? It already got the golden turnbuckles. It got flat belts all around. And what I really surprised me, it got black plastic shocks.
Black plastic shocks?
Yeah, I never saw this before. And he advertised the car for around $170. As
are you sure it wasn't a spring
Drift
edition?
Art. No, it for sure not, because the Drift Art every little bit higher edition than the minimum had golden shocks. These were black plastic shocks, working the same principle as the golden shocks.
Yeah.
Working the same principle as the golden shocks, but definitely black.
They might be the Nex Racing shocks.
No, I don't know.
Nex is the only manufacturer that makes some black anodized parts.
It was definitely no aluminum. It was, you could see the plastic.
Oh, I see. So they were printed?
I don't know. It had some...
Are you talking about the rod or the cup? Because I love actually, let's just show
the golden part. The golden part of the shock of a Drift Art, yeah, it was black plastic. Looked exactly the same, but black plastic. And he advertised it as Drift Art 2.5cc light.
CC Light, huh?
Yeah.
So this is the original CC that I've been talking about, and let me see. I'm going to turn this like this. All right, so this is my original CC.
I don't know.
Well, so here's the deal. So when the CC came out, it was full of printed accessories, like the printed gearbox, you name it. Okay. So on this particular car, I had purchased the CC and the SE, which is the summer edition. The summer edition that I got was the stainless chassis version. Okay. That was the original SE, was a stainless chassis version. Now, so what I did is that, building your first drift kart's like climbing the mountain, you know what I'm saying? So I really didn't want to get too deep into it, so I just went ahead and built this car with an amalgamation of all the cool parts that I knew I was going to use, like the DVF, the alloy gearbox, and I got to be honest with you, I think that's about it, right? Because this car is just such a brutal, efficient, beautiful design. It just works very well. This is that double pulley I'm talking about. And I don't know if you could see this other one in here, but it's so polished, on that, right up in here. It's so polished, because I've used it so much, but it just...
My drift art, the very first drift art that I fell out with the group for was a CC Spring Edition. And the only thing I had was the aluminium gearbox, the aluminium bits at the back, for holding the gear and the motor in. And like I said, one of the holes with the 6mm bearing in at the side, the 9mm bearing was egg-shaped.
I even have the printed arms.
Yeah, I've got the printed arms, mate. I've got everything off that car printed. I've got the printed plastic shocks.
The shovel.
Oh, Green Joseph, hey.
Coming in hot, man. Coming in hot.
Yay.
Yeah, coming in hot.
Put this car away. Yeah. Hey, what's up, man?
Just to finish our topic now, I know all of the versions you guys were talking about. The Spring Edition, it is no 2.5, it's a 2.0. After the Spring Edition, you get 2.5, and then it's called Summer Edition. It's basically the same car. But I never, ever saw, and I saw the 2.0 cc, where you didn't have turnbuckles at the front arms, where you only had threads. Yeah, the old one. This is a cc, the first cc. Okay, I understand that. But this car got golden turnbuckles on the front, so it's a 2.5. And it is a cc, because it was with flat belts all around. And the guys say it's a light version because it has full plastic shocks. I have never seen that before. The shocks look exactly the same, like on a normal drift art, the golden parts, but they are black and made out of plastic.
That's the thing with drift art, especially like when the whole mid releases are like that with the 2.5 and everything.
Yeah, there was something in between all the time at every version.
Yeah. If you bought brand new, you're gonna get something more streamlined. But as far as like used, people were buying the SX chassis and putting back in the nylon rear shocks because of how much better they were at the time without the fish eyes. So that's why. Even like it got even more confusing, even more so afterwards too.
That's why I haven't built my drift darts. That's why I have 10 chassis unbuilt, because I said I'm gonna build one when he's finally done with everything. But this guy just doesn't stop, So it's like, I'm just gonna have to just knuckle down and build these things. It's like it's just the evolution. I have option parts that no one's even seen on a drift dart. Outside of the Gentleman Mirror Lies, I have the Creative Suite, which, came with all the forward-mounted motor pulleys. Like, you can mount the motor above the front axle if you want to.
I've tried to mount 3 of them so far.
Yeah, so I forget who I sold mine to. I had 2 sets. I either gave one to someone or sold one to someone. But anyway, yeah, it's just it's a great chassis. It's got a huge following for a reason, but there's just so many other ways to get to the top of the mountain that don't require, in fact, you can buy a drift car, not spend any money additionally on it. It'll still slide its face off.
Hard.
Case in point, this car that I'm sliding right now. But
So-
you could seriously dump a ton of money into a drift car and still have a beast, both aesthetically
definitely
and
true.
performance-wise. There's no wasted money on a drift car.
That's definitely true. For all of you that don't know, I mentioned we will have a guest today. On my total right, it's Quinn Joseph. He just entered the chat for us. And I think this was enough about Drift Art. Quinn, what's your going on? What's your about to?
All I keep on hitting is send. That's all that's going on. I'm just sending.
Just sending.
If I see something I like, I'm just hitting send. What you
Oh, yeah?
send?
Yeah, you're on a buying rampage, huh?
Yeah. I have a bad taste in my mouth. I really want that DWX3. So I've been trying to fill a void that I clearly can't fill after I just recently got a TRC Meta. Red. Yeah.
I have
Other than
something
that,
for you, Quinn.
Nice.
Yeah, those are my next two babies right there. Yep.
They are
What's
more or
already
less
out?
done. Just need to print the rims.
Hey, Chris, why you keep on showing off on me, man? You don't want one.
Never.
No, I don't give it to anybody.
I need that.
I'm going to have to start a museum.
Might as well. Listen, you don't play no games, right?
I was going to say, man, you know what I wish we had? I wish we had a Micro Drift magazine, man. Like back in the day, man, you could go to the store, get a magazine, Micro Drift Slot Car Mania or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's just
That
like,
is
God,
really
I'd love to have
awesome.
just a book. You know what? We need to just do a book. We got to publish our own online book while we still remember how it all started, where everything came from, all that stuff, man.
Like
I mean,
the car
I don't know.
papers you got in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
With all
Yeah.
the tuning
I know.
magazines.
I know I had a subscription to RC magazine.
Oh, RC Car Action?
Car
Yeah,
Action,
man.
I had one. I definitely did.
We could self-publish that thing, man. I don't know. Community, let us know, man. I think it'd be great because we got an international community. I'm going to go over to Indonesia in January. I'm going to spend a week there. I'm going to drift my face off with Ramalak and all these other guys. You name it. I mean,
That's
That's
cool.
want to go? Me and you.
That sounds awesome.
That's awesome for real.
Yeah, I just ran a whole battery out of this thing. That's probably like the 1,000th battery I've run this thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
Quinn,
like
I'm
with
sliding
my
on some
DK.
old screen. That's a Windows screen.
I just got some yesterday. There was a guy who across the street from me who redid his full screen finally after the hurricane. I got like a big old roll of it.
Yeah, perfect. You know what? I sprayed my sauce on it. Yo, fire!
Yeah, I gotta get enough space to put it down and see what it's gonna do. I can't run it on my tile in the house. My grooves are too deep.
Deep grooves, house grooves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah,
those purple shocks, man. I finally got down to the gist of it. You know me. I'm gonna ask. So,
Watch the first hour of this video. We're talking very intense about these shocks.
Already.
we did
already?
Yeah, we did already. Because
No, I'll move on from it then. Never mind. I'll move on from it. Long story short, Cyclops admitted to me that there's some variations in the products they released.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I recognize this we didn't talk about. I recognized this today when I looked it up in the shop 39 something numbers. I don't know now exactly. Chris
Cyclops
knows them. But I looked it up and there is one for the MA 1.5 and 1.3, and they have a second pair of shocks for the D24, and I think these for the D24 have that they are €1 more expensive, so it will be $1. more expensive, and I think they come already with the longer shaft, but it's still
And
shorter
faster.
than the shaft that I use.
Okay, thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, they have the white shaft.
I understand.
A little bit longer.
Chris, how is it working?
Yeah, man.
You are so quiet.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the same. You're still doing the same one.
Well, I've done
great.
this, and the battery connector, I've had it on so I can make sure I've addressed my wires. I was never one for trimming wires and make the car look fancy, but now I've started to basically mount my motor, get my ESC in a position where I want it, make sure the wires look pretty without impeding my
hot glue it.
Yeah, and then
T-Tac.
Yeah, exactly. Liquid nails.
We won't talk about body mounting. I hate doing it. I absolutely hate it.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad that you mentioned it. Okay, so I'm just going to throw this out there. You know, this is conversational. You know, I mean, we just happen to be talking, hopefully, to other people besides us. But I had a great conversation with Brad Bowman, RC Supremacy. We talked for, roughly an hour, I'd say. You know, he's a local to me. He moved away, you know, started RC Supremacy and so forth. But long story short, he really wants to double down on small-scale drifters. You know, as everyone should know, we have a top-tier giveaway. And, you know, I call it a top tier, but, you know, the radio is the one sticking point. So I think I've had a lot of good success with the GT5 radio as a budget radio with the nano receivers, the 2-in-1s. You know, Chris Tronic likes Radio Link, you know, whatever the case may be. This will be an RTR car. It will be completely ready to run, okay? I would like to reach out to Wolfram. If Wolfram sees this, I'll tag them. But I'd like to ask Wolfram or Heli Direct, or any of these other partnered shops, you know, if they would like to have a coupon available so the individual who gets the chassis and the whole shebang can have a coupon for the battery. All right, because the battery is the only thing that would be an issue to ship. You know what I'm saying? So rather than ship a battery, I'd rather ship everything else out of RC Supremacy. Brad has agreed to donate the motor, the ESC. We'll get the radio sorted. You know, we'll get the servos sorted. I got the body. I'm donating the chassis. I'll throw some wheels on it, some tires, no problem. Bong, bong. And then Brad said he'll assemble everything from lip to tip, tune it, and then it'll ship out of RC Supremacy, essentially. So he's going to help us out. You know, honestly, the body basically falls on the DMRX Pro, so it's not even an issue. Thanks to 3C's RC, by the way, and Chad, you know, he did a great job on that body. Handmade fender kit. I mean, you know, it's totally Bozuku style. So, I mean, you know, whoever plops this on the table is going to get some eyes on it, man, for sure. And since it's all ready to go, RTR, you know, it's all love. A lot of great people involved in it. So, again, you know, we're Chris Tronic is pretty much coming up with a way for everyone to kind of get involved. I think it's going to be essentially people kind of going through the you know, the Sunday sermons maybe, and picking out some topics that we'll have asked questions to the community about. And I guess he was talking about like the first person to get like the 10 correct answers of, you know, whatever we happen to discuss. I mean, we don't even know yet. We're just talking about it. But yeah, we want to get this over and done with. You know, I want to get someone sliding ASAP, you know, and I don't know who it's going to be. You know, there's just too many great people, so many awesome individuals, new, old alike. You know, I mean, I'd love to give one to every single person, believe me. But anyway, but this is where we're at. We're going to do a lot more giveaways, but this particular one, I just want this BMRX Pro out of my garage so I could just stick something else on there. It's brand new.
Very good.
It's good to go. Everything's going to be brand new. No used parts on this truck. It's going to be a brand new car. The winner though, there's a caveat. The winner, like Chris was saying on his other giveaway, the winner, regardless of who and where they are, because it's global, which is a global thing, or whatever you believe it, you know, global, you know, whatever, you know, all right? You pay the shipping. That's it, all right? If you're in Indonesia and you win, hey, bless you. Good player, man. Boss 555, you know what I'm saying? But you got to pay the shipping. If it's in the States, you got to pay the shipping. If the person who gets it cannot afford the shipping within the 3 days or so, get some funds together. Hey, I don't think I was going to win, blah, 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 whatever. You got a couple days, 3 days, we're kind about it, whatever. But after that, it's going to go right to the second place person. We'll already have a first, second fiduciary. So anyway, that's where we're at. That's what we're thinking about. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, sounds good to me, that, Mr. Colt.
All right. Well, hey, we got the free STL of the Exoterra on there. I mean, you creators and crafters, whatever, man. I mean, shit, pop off, man. That's a free exoskeleton for your drifter, so you can weight it up. You can turn it into a camera chase car. You can tune it without damaging your suspension systems and so forth. It's a living file, and you can modify it. Just do whatever. I mean, if you end up selling your own, hey, you know what? All right, whatever. Not my play, but they will be available for sale through Backyard RC Speedway and Justin Roderbach. I just love his prints. He's on my squad, with King's R&D, so I just know the quality is going to be legit. So yeah, if you're having difficulties printing it, that's the Exoterra, the Exo cage set we made. Again, it's a living document. It hasn't even hit its final form yet. We were talking about doing plug-in engine bays, side covers. I mean, pretty much making it its own body, if you will. Mm-hmm. It's a living STL. So just, craft with it as you please. Blow my mind. Make me want to pay you for it. I already paid for the creation of it, but make me want to buy it off of you. That's where I'm at in life. So, anyway, I'll yield.
One thing I wanted to touch on when you brought up the radios earlier was that new Dumbo RC radio. That thing's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the new one.
Price point. And if that fact you can get a mini receiver for $15 to $12 on AliExpress. It's pretty impressive.
Which one is this? Is this
the brand new updated
dual
Dumbo RC?
Knobs?
You'll
have to link me on that one.
Yeah, it's a digital LCD screen.
It's
high
impressive for the price, yeah. And
I think it's only $60, $55 or $54, something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely far under 100 with a receiver.
Like I said, you can get mini receivers the same size, and they're actually just a little bit bigger than the AFRC. That's the same size as AFRCs, probably. I think. Yeah.
What protocol does it use?
That I don't know the gist of it. I'll find out some more information for you because I saw it on the the new LDRC, the 118s. Everybody's running Yeah, there's a guy who's Ryan Blackwell and whatnot. I heard a couple people that were asking questions on there, and somebody.
I'm actually buying one right now.
I just bought
the LDRC.
Yeah, I just bought the NSX last night. It's supposed to have a Skyline that's coming out.
My guy, what color?
Silver.
What color?
The one that's always sold out.
White.
Oh man, all right, no problem. No, I'm definitely going to get one because I have the HGX, which is their 18 scale HG1. HGD1. I have the 18 scale, and so I need someone to craft body mount kit for that. I got to bounce you on that. You come up with some body mount plates, man. Or some chassis extension plates because I have all these plastic bodies in 18 scale that I purchased off of the gentleman out there in Vietnam. I think Ho Chi Minh.
Hey,
yes. I got all the race car bodies. I got Porsche Panameras. I got the new Corvette. They even had a 118.
Oh yeah, the Corvette, the Bentley. Yeah, I got all that stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen.
But they don't fit. I need the body mount. Yes, sir. Chris Lewis.
Right, Dwight. We were talking about Chris Tronics gears before we come on.
Yeah, baby.
And you were saying how do they fit?
Yeah.
I've pushed that on with my thumb. Yeah.
Nice.
Boom.
Snap.
It's a big boy.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe have to widen the hole a little bit.
Like damn Legos.
Nah, it'll go, mate. It'll go. I just need to put it on something hard.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I probably press mine on, I guess, when I'm building the transmission. I mean, you're doing it, because the car's already assembled, so that's cool. You got a different ways to get to the top of the mountain on that one. No, I'm definitely going to do it. I got a super speeder I've been trying to finish, and by trying, I mean I haven't done shit.
It's
like I have all these crazy parts.
Okay.
Oh, very good. if you...
I need to pull the motor one out a bit, but this one's on fully.
Mm-hmm.
I've not meshed them yet.
You can basically, you could, if the car has normally a pin through the shaft to hold the spur gear, you can open up the hole to 3 millimeters exact, so it will slide easily on the shaft, and use the pin as original if you make a little cut in the back of the middle of the gear, and then it works with a pin, and you can easily change out the spare gear just by easily pulling it off and change it to another one. Some people change it more often than others. For these people, maybe press fit is not the perfect solution, because if you change it very often, it will get loose very soon.
Let me pop in here real quick. I want to give a special shout out to a friend of mine, George or Jorge Salazar. He's new to the SSD group. He's new to microdrift. This gentleman is the husband of a close friend of my wife's, and I was at an event with this gentleman at a charity event. I met him for the first time. We were vibing out. He's a car guy. I mean, he's a Porsche nut, all right? He is a Porsche enthusiast and then some. Additionally, he's a mega successful real estate guy here in South Beach, Miami area. So when I showed him microdrift for the first time and I showed him Man YP's work, I mean, this gentleman had just seen like the holy grails of whatever he wanted. So all of this formulated last night. We were talking over Messenger. We were connecting on Instagram. I was tagging him all sorts of stuff. He joined the group. I tagged him on Man YP. He's like, look, I want to jump in both feet. How do we do it? I'm just like, listen, man, you're looking at, a pretty decent amount considering, his tastes, let's say. So I said, listen, for you, I will build the entire car. I will source all the parts. I will get every person that is a heavy hitter in this hobby / industry to come on deck. And he's going to have a top tier chassis. I told him that I would service and maintain this car for him until he sold it, which is doubtful, or until he died, which is doubtful. Well, because I'm trying to get the
mechanic. Right, he's about to be a mechanic too.
Hey, listen, this guy is special to me because I see it in his eyes, man. He's rediscovered RC after, like most of us, after we've had it as a child. We've done the adult things, and then we're looking for fun. We're looking for something that we connect with. And for me, it just happened to be RC cars, trucks, planes, boats, subs. I mean, you name it. If it's remote control, other than a robot, an AI, I just smack that thing. That's not my friend. But the point being is that, I want this guy to succeed. I want him to feel the love. I know he does. I contacted Man YP. He's going to build an RWB, basically murdered out, triple black, double whale tail, the ubiquitous RWB. We're going to put it on an MA24 chassis. It's going to have the Rocket V2 setup in it. It's going to have he's got a Noble Plus I'm going to get for him. I'm going to, reach out to some of these supporting dealers, maybe Brad, if he's down, I'm not looking for any deals. I'm just looking for quality service, a quality connection, which I know Brad and everyone that I've ever mentioned on this podcast will provide. It's just, we got so many great people just willing to just do whatever. I mean, look, I was fielding calls and messages up until 2:30 in the morning my time, and I take them without a doubt. I just love it. I mean, from Friday to like Monday at 11 o'clock, it's like when I just got to go to bed because I got to wake up at 4 on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm just all in it. I've been pushing on my track. And so anyway, you see this guy, he's close, he's family, and he's going to have a blast, man. He's invited to Driftopia. Like anyone here, if you are watching this and you are in the southern Florida area, I don't care if it's for a layover, all right, or you're having an affair. I don't give a shit. You call me up, you're going to come and slide on my track, you're going to have a great time. I'm not worried about you being crazy because, I got an airboat over here with a wood chipper on it. Anyway, so it's all good.
Wait, we are
Listen, Dwight.
Yo.
We had a big conversation, me, you, and Chris. Yeah, and I told you, I'm making my car roll with the motor on it. I want it rolling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like me.
You just watch me build this car, yeah.
Wow.
All right. Saw that, Chris.
No, you're going to have to put some white out on that rear rim. I think it's sliding, man. I don't know. It could be this. Hold on. Let me see.
Mate. I'm telling you, bro.
Oh, you're right. All right, man.
Look,
I got a Tronicle right now in my pocket.
Tronicles.
Chris.
I'm telling you, I don't care what anybody says about Chris's gears, because I've been using them from a long time back.
Only person.
Oh shit, that was my drift power. Hold on.
Nobody can say nothing unless they haven't used them.
No, I know. No, they're awesome. They're awesome.
I want them on my DRZ. I just got that DRZ I was telling you about, bro.
Oh yeah.
And that's another thing. I mean,
everything worked out. Because yesterday, last night, this guy right here, what was it, 3 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning? You're like, yo, my computer's acting up. I'm trying to buy this thing. It's logging me out. Oh my god. He's getting hacked at the same time he's buying this thing. What happened? Everything.
I was trying to log into the app and everything like that. It was down for maintenance, but I took care of it this morning. But
okay, so you're all Gucci. It's on the way.
Yeah, it's all Gucci. I'm sure some people
don't. But they're not making the DRZ anymore. That's what you were telling me, man. It's like kind of a shocker.
Yep. Be a rare caveat. So I gotta get at Mikos for every single aftermarket part that there is.
He's gonna send you to me.
Well, Chris,
I got a DRZ new in box, DRZ V2, not an LE, but a V2, and I have every conceivable gold option part. It's basically because it's identical to the one that Mikos built for me when I very first got into micro drift. I'm not gonna lie, I had a DRZ V2. I had the drift open up these boxes. I looked inside. I took the healthiest shit of 2019 BC before COVID. And I just couldn't build it. There was something about it. It was just, I don't know. I was a little stuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm embarrassed by it, but I'm also honest about it and humble about myself. So Miko said, hey, yo, man, I'll hook it up. I'm going to tune it just like my car. It's going to be a Driftaholics Team Edition. I'm like, hey, awesome. Sign me up. Made that thing. And this thing is a beast. It's a razor. It's a scalpel, right? But I have another one identical to it. The one car is called Xerxes because it's all gold. The other one, the identical one, is called Son of Xerxes.
I remember.
This thing is out of hand. This thing is out of hand. So It's in a box like this. It's like all stuffed in there. I haven't built it, but now that you said that they're not going to be available anymore.
And I have open Xerxes and Strangles, and I really think that if I could get one brand new in the box, I would definitely send it to Mikos. I'm sure Mikos is sick of hearing that shit from me.
Yeah, no, I mean, Mikos has unlocked that DRZ. Even the 2.1 update. So the steering on the DRZ V2, the 2.1 steering setup is really what they call a long arm setup. It's a real wide setup. And what it does is it had changed with the new brass knuckles and so forth. It changed the KPI, which is the kingpin inclination angle, which we'll get into that on subsequent things if you guys are interested in that. It changed the scrub. It changed everything. It almost made the car undrivable for people who made the conversion. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many people made that conversion and then came right back to the original stuff.
Monoshock completely killed it. Miko's telling you, we'll take that monoshock off, bruh, take it off. Okay.
Oh, really, man? Yep. Yeah, I don't know. So the reason I run my mono, the only reason I run the monos on any chassis. All right. So my philosophy is, if I'm running a mono in the front, I'm going to run one in the rear if I can. All right. The only reason I would run a, kind of a weird, like a Cyclops setup with the mono up front is for the hood line angle.
Yeah.
Like I got some Corvettes, I got some Ferraris, I got some Lambos. I got such a low hood angle. And so what I mean is, if you look at the side of your car, as an example, I'll just use this drift art right here. This car right here has a very high hood angle, meaning that the edge of this fender and the top of the hood line are, well, in this case, it's a scale 12 inches. I know that because I removed the scale 12 inches out of this fender to add this over fender, right? Because, that's just the way it had to be, So when you have a body that has a really low hood and fender line, like almost non-existent, when you run those tower shocks or even those stand-up servo arrangements like Driftar and so forth, MA, I run the mono just to save myself that real estate so I can actually have some, because the tower will always mess you up. And, so if you are stuck in that situation with a body you just have to run, just stick a mono on it, more than likely it's going to work.
I came to a realization that the new shock system, like the inboard shock system, how they have it, also takes care of that issue as well. And the chassis I like to have as a go-to for low bodies and also low slanted hoods is the TG version 1, man.
Oh, yeah. That TG Light. Yeah, the TG Light is...
on that body, it will work. It will look good. Slam it. Listen.
Chris, tell us about the red one, because I gave my TG Light to my friend because it works so nice. I just had to give it to him. And so he could slide here with me, But I had the TGS, the Super, but I got to get another TG Light in the red, I guess, because it is such a phenomenal chassis for what it is. I mean, for what it is like literally fighting Mike Tyson in his early years. He would come out there with no socks. His shoes are messed up. He got a hole in his, boxer shorts, man, and he's just going to come and knock you out. He's not even wearing a robe. He's wearing an old, jock strap around his shoulders, and the fight's over in 10 seconds, So that's pretty much how it goes down. So, yeah, the TG Light is an uppercut from Tyson. I mean,
with saying that, I got to give a shout out to Sideways. RC, I greatly appreciate him hooking me up with a dude who traded me to DWXF. So, as you know, sometimes I have some debacles when it comes to shipping. I don't always have the best of luck. So this is so different, He got me the DWXF in like 4 days. It was static. I melted stuff out. 4 days go by. 5 days go by. 6 days go by. I get the package back to my house with the claim. Well, actually, the post office. Back to the house, back with the claim. Messed up. All damaged. Luckily, I put everything in hard cases, so the two chassis I gave him was the TG Light, all ready to go, full RTR, no radio, and another chassis, a 3D printed chassis. I was like, you know what, I gotta make it whole. That means he waited, hooked me up, made me happy, so I went ahead and threw him in a drift art chassis, built already, so no.
Damn.
Yeah. You know how I do. Sure.
I remember I bought that Drift Beast off of you, and then it was like, I'm a real cool guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, it was about like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I'm just like, I almost forgot about it, And so I messaged you, and you're like, but then I guess you were in the islands or something. You're talking about a flood. You're talking about this. You're talking about that. And I'm just like, I know this guy. Like, did we have a flood in Florida? Because I was imagining you were living up in Cape Coral. I was like, I don't think we had any floods this winter, huh?
Yeah, it was literally overnight. We had maybe 5 or 6 hours of just straight torrential rain, bro. We got almost 8 inches of rain in 3 hours.
Wow,
bro,
that's crazy. Yeah,
I've never seen like that before. We had our roads were flooded and our canals weren't even flooded. That's how.
Right. And then your wife actually sent the packages out, but they all went to different people, and then they all came back to you. Yeah, no, it was really funny. But long story short, I got the Drift Beast. It's all good. I'm actually going to send it possibly out to 3Cs because he does the heat treatment on those plates. Yeah. Well, I want to do it myself, but I also like having people connected in the hobby. I want to have it back and say, yo, this is a 3C special. It looks so awesome. I mean, he's really got it down pat. I used to do stuff like that back when I was a kid, like sharpening things on the grinder that I wasn't supposed to. But he's got a real talent for it. But man, I am just so thrilled with all the people that we're coming across. We're over at 13,000 members. We're about to overtake the Singapore. We're about to take over the Singapore RC crew, which is, those guys have been doing it for almost a decade before we were.
Are the originators, man. The originators.
So like I said, I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to be sliding with Kilimanjaro. I mean, I swear to you, I'm going to do it. I tell you, they're not ready for Dwight over there. I mean, yes, they are. They've had Rambo, I think. But anyway, they've seen Rambo, right? No, that's going to be cool.
You best go and soften them up for me, boy. Eh?
Oh man, no! If we should all go, man, I'm telling you, man. I would never ask for a GoFundMe to send us to Thailand or to Singapore, excuse me. But Jakarta, or correction, Indonesia. We're gonna go to Jakarta. That's where these gentlemen are at. They're over in Indonesia. Yeah, it's the Indonesian mini RC Drift Indonesia. I'm telling you, those guys are on a level like we're just aspiring to that. Demos and Ramalik,
right?
And those guys.
Those
I mean,
two guys right there. I give them so much props anytime I see a post, anytime I say anything. Let me tell you right now, I've been trying for 3 years. 3 years to get the Demas to get him to build me a K9. Okay? Because you'll get different K9s, you'll get different printed chassis, you'll get any and everything different. But when that dude builds something and put it together, you got a Slayer. On top of that, too, you got a unique Slayer. Because even he's not going to make it just like his K9. It's going to be different. It's going to be better. Whatever the case is, anything you want, he is a great person in the community. As well as, who's the next person you hit on?
Well, Kilimanjaro, you had Demos, you had Ramalik.
Oh, Ramalik.
You have,
guys,
also, MJ Modify. MJ has been making those K98 99 conversions forever, and he, in my opinion, is probably in the very top. And also, he builds bodies, he makes wheels, he does it all. So, and I have purchased pretty much a lot of his chassis. His new chassis are resin print chassis. They're gorgeous. In addition to this, they work phenomenally. I have turned people onto those chassis with budget radios, budget everything, fully ready to go from him, and they slide right out of the box, no complaints. Yep. And I'm talking, these things have gone to Latvia, they've gone over to Russia, they've gone everywhere. I mean, it's global, or whatever you're into. That's where it is.
Guys, I would say, with these good words, with these nice words, we're going about to end this Sunday sermon. Chris, your microphone is not working.
Mine now.
Now it is working. So, I would say it's really close to 2 hours. I know we could.
2 hours.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We could go on 1 more hour or so, but I think we need some stuff for the next Sunday sermon, since this shouldn't be the last Sunday sermon. And I want you, viewers, to like, share, and follow us, to not miss any Sunday sermon anymore. We will take a look that we have more guests like Green Joseph today in the future, because many people had interesting things to say.
Enjoy the party.
To our topics.
Blake's wardrobe lady's just come in and she's stripping him of his wardrobe.
Yeah, it looks like he's at spring break.
See, look what you did, Dwight. I just started to officially have fun, and now my wife is calling me. She smelled it.
Yeah,
smelled the damn fun, Dwight.
Hey, 22-year anniversary right here, man. Today, 22 years, man.
Yeah.
Love you, baby.
All right, y'all, take it easy.
Listen, I love you guys. I'll see you next Sunday. Anyone watching this, you could hit me up, Dwight Cool, Cool's R&D. I'll answer. Message me up. I'll do what I got to, man. See you, Quinn.
All right, man. Take it easy, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, just before we go, let me just say before we go, Brad Bollerman, I've messaged him. Hopefully, he can now put RC Supremacy on the group. Same with Chad.
Right.
Hopefully, he can get 3C's stuff on the group. I know Dwight. Yeah. I've worked it out with Dwight personally, and I don't mean one-to-one, but yeah, Dwight can now get Cole's RD comments on the group. So that I'm hoping that problem's all fixed. On just one last thing, Chris. I swapped the shaft, and it was well too loose. But I'm like you.
Heat shrink too.
I thought I'd try the TG Super Shaft because it looks even longer. Yeah, and it's got a thicker end. So, Chris, I'll keep the viewers informed on that next week.
Interesting. Mine worked perfectly.
Yeah.
I can listen to you describe shafts all day long, Chris.
Well, hey, let's not get personal, Mr. D. But anyway,
I'm just saying, you got a great technical acumen there.
As I've explained to you all, the tronicals, man, I don't care.
Wow.
There's no force on this. This thing is as smooth as there's no motor on it. The motor's in. Jesus.
Good job, man. Man, you did that in an hour? What's my problem, man? That took 6 hours to do.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I was messing about. I had trouble with this because I wasn't concentrating, to be honest with you. And I reckon it took about 20 minutes. The best part of it was, it took me, like I said to you both, I set the mesh up and it still wasn't free enough. Then I released both the wheel nuts slightly, So I've still got no movement, but now we're loosey-goosey.
Yeah, you just track it down, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this has been great, man.
Yeah, enjoy your week all. And
Trickaholics.
Dwight, happy anniversary. I'd like all the members that watches this just say Mr. Cole's been married 22 blessed years.
Nice.
To his darling wife. So anyone that wants to wish him a happy anniversary, do so, please.
If you've seen the Eiffel Tower, that's her trophy.
Yeah. Okay, enjoy your week, people.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
I'll see you guys around, man.
Nice working week.
Peace out.
See ya. Bye-bye.